Hello, good afternoon. This is Toya with Mr. Crystal Tarot. I'm going to be doing a general collective reading today. The first card that I'm going to pull is the Oracle card. Spirit, what messages do you have for the collective today? What messages do you have for the collective today? Spirit, what messages do you have for the collective today? Spirit, what messages do you have for the collective today? What messages do you have for the collective today? Spirit, what messages do you have for the collective today? What messages do you have for the collective today? You speak up. Let me get the book to give you the meaning. And the number of this card is 33, which is a master number. Speak up, speak out, speak on it. You have a right to be heard. You are betraying yourself by not speaking up. Your words have power. Own your voice. As the old saying goes, stand up for something or fall for nothing. Being neutral is not an option. When you stand firmly in your truth, you have thoughts, opinions, beliefs, and convictions. What do you stand for? Tell somebody today. In a goddess declaration, I reclaim my voice. I speak out and speak up. Now I'm going to jump into the tarot. Spirit, what messages do you have for the collective today? Spirit, what messages do you have for the collective today? What messages do you have for the collective today? Spirit, what messages do you have for the collective today? Spirit, what messages do you have for the collective today? Spirit, what messages do you have for the collective today? Spirit, what messages do you have for the collective today? Spirit, what messages do you have for the collective today? Spirit, what messages do you have for the collective today? What messages do you have for the collective today? Spirit, what messages do you have for the collective today? Spirit, what messages do you have for the collective today? First card is the Magician, Eight of Pentacles, and Temperance. So, the Magician is a card that is it's like you're good at what you do. You're very creative. You're good at your job. You're good at your skill. You could work in medicine. You could work in spiritual medicine, holistic medicine as well. And the Eight of Pentacles, a very hardworking person. And the Temperance card, it means balance. So what I'm getting with this is that there may be a job that's going to come through that you're good at. That's going to help you feel balanced. There's a lot of earth sign, and I think the magician is also Gemini, air sign as well. There's going to be a job coming through for you that you'll be skillful at. Now, those that are working at a job that they feel overworked at, and you might have applied for another job, but you haven't heard back from them yet, most likely. It's gonna come. You're gonna get accepted for that job. Spirit, what messages do you have for the collective? Spirit, what messages do you have for the collective? Spirit, what messages do you have for the collective? Spirit, what messages do you have for the collective? What messages do you have for the collective? Spirit, what messages do you have for the collective? Spirit, what messages do you have for the collective? Some of you are indecisive if you should take this job. You're constantly thinking about it, you're stressing about it, but Spirit wants you to know not to stress about it, that when you do get this job and you're doing the job, people are going to look up to you, people are going to praise you for the work that you are doing. Like I said, this is a job that you're very skillful at. You have the skills for it. What messages do you have for the general collective? Spirit, what messages do you have for the general collective? What messages do you have for the general collective? Spirit, what messages do you have for the general collective? Spirit, what messages do you have for the general collective? What messages do you have for the general collective? What messages do you have for the general collective? Eight of Swords, Ace of Pentacles, a lot of you, like I said before, with the being conflicted and worrying about if you'll be good at this job. Maybe you're scared to do the job. Maybe you're afraid to step out of your comfort zone. Maybe you're worried about, like, am I going to be financially secure? Spirit is going to give you clarity on that. Spirit is probably already has given you clarity on that. You just need to be confident in yourself. Spirit, what other messages do you have for the general collective? Spirit, what other messages do you have for the general collective? Spirit, what messages do you have for the general collective? This is probably not even like for most people, for most of you, it's probably not like a job. It's like you're starting your own business, your own career, where you'll be more independent. Spirit, what other messages do you have for the general collective? Yeah, the job that you're currently at, you're probably fed up about. You feel like you're not being noticed for the work that you're doing, and that's why you're going for something else. You feel over it, is what I'm getting. and you feel like you're not shining, you're not being allowed to show your true talent. Spirit, what other messages do you have for the General Collective? What other messages do you have for the General Collective? Spirit, what other messages do you have for the General Collective? Spirit, what other messages do you have for the General Collective? Spirit, what other messages do you have for the General Collective? If you hear the fan, I'm sorry, but it's tapped. We have the King of Swords, the King of Pentacles, and the Hangman. King of Swords means clarity. King of Pentacles is a person that's independent, grounded. The Hangman is, it's looking at something from a different perspective. It could also mean letting go of something that's no longer serving you. I think this is what they call like a mind over matter type of situation for you. Yeah, I think you need a change of environment when it comes to work. So 4 cards fell out of the deck when I was shuffling. The first one is the 4 of Swords. The second one is the Sun of Cups. The Sun. 9 of Cups and Ace of Cups. So with this, I'm seeing that, you know, this is something that you were maybe praying for, meditating about, manifesting. Because we also have the Magician card. The Magician card was the first card that came up, so it's like manifestation. It lines up with the 4 Swords. With the 4 Swords, Spirit is saying not to stress out, like I said before. With this new position or new career or new business that you'll be starting, you'll be happy. You'll be more independent. You'll be more abundant. The 9 of Cups means a fulfillment, a wish come through for you. And the Ace of Cups, fulfillment. Are there any more messages for the General Collective, Spirit? Spirit, are there any more messages for the General Collective? Are there any more messages for the General Collective? Spirit, are there any more messages for the General Collective? Spirit wants you to take a chance. Use your intuition. Your intuition is heavy in this. Heavy intuition. You could be a Cancer with Earth in your chart and air in your chart as well. Spirit wants you to use your intuition. Follow your intuition as well. And take a leap of faith when it comes to this new job. At the bottom of the deck, you have the Empress and the Queen of Wands. This is probably like a spiritual healing type of career that you're looking forward to do. And like I said before, you'll be successful with it. You'll find true happiness with it. Next, I'm gonna pull another oracle card for you guys. Spirit, what other messages do you have for the general collective? What messages do you have for the general collective? What messages do you have for the general collective? What last messages do you have for the general collective? What last messages do you have for the general collective? What last messages do you have for the general collective? What last messages do you have for the general collective? Secrets revealed. Queen of Sheba. I'm going to show you the card. Open your eyes. Secrets are being revealed. It is safe for you to see the truth. The inner vision is crystal clear. Remember, I was talking about clarity and using your intuition. You don't know what you don't know. The Creator, ancestors, angels, spirits, and ascending masters are whispering to you. This is divine intelligence. Pay close attentions. There are things you do not let yourself see. Like I said before with the Eight of Swords, the Eight of Swords is basically a person that's surrounded with swords, but there's an opening right in front of them, and they're blindfolded.